Hey guys, Matt with CJ Off-Road here. Today, as you can see on the table, we have got a wide variety of Diode Dynamics brand new Stage Series 3 lights on the table. Now, I was really excited to get our hands on them, and our friends over at Diode sent us pretty much all that they offer. These lights are absolutely incredible, and from what I'm told, they've been working for years on designing these. They feature an 8-year warranty from Diode Dynamics, as well as the customization to be able to mount them as a spotlight or something on your pillar, also to add them as a fog light to your existing bumper. Now, we're going to be installing these on a couple Jeep Wranglers as well as Jeep Gladiators to really show their effectiveness and go over the different models. Now, Diode Dynamics offers these in either a sport model or the pro model. When you go from the two, you pretty much double the lumen output as well as the power draw on your system. Now, we go everything from a spot, a flood, a driving, and then these are going to be sort of the fog light style here, where they do have the rounded bezel and it's going to match perfectly. I really like that you can purchase these as a fog light kit, which gives you all the connectors made up to plug right into your vehicle's factory fog light system. Now, with that being said, we're going to dive into one of these individually, show you how to get them installed on our Jeep, so let's get started. This set of lights from Diode Dynamics that we're going to be installing is going to be their Pro Series fog lights. Now, these don't have the fog light bezel and can be utilized with either a Worklight style bracket or with the bracketry that allows you to mount it to the factory fog light. Now, this is the Pro Series here, so it does have more lighting output as well as draws a little bit more power, but it has the same durable construction as the rest of the lights, the aluminum with a black powder coat. If we flip it behind there, you can see we've got that fin pin heatsink, as well as the Deutsch connector down here, which I like is that's all aluminum too, so you get a nice click on there and really have a nice seal. Now, these are going to output over 11,900 candela per light and give you an luminescence of 119 lux while having 220 meters of distance. Now, these are a fog light, so they're going to be a lot more wide than the rest of the patterns and give you a really crisp output when you're looking to get wider in the fog or any sort of adverse weather condition. The first thing that we're going to need to do is pull the front bumper off of our Jeep, so let's get started. So now we're in front of our 2018 JL, and if you guys have been following along with this build, you know that we never had a stock bumper on here. So what we did today is actually rob this one off of the Gladiator parts that we've been taking off, and it has the factory LEDs, so we just bolted it up there quickly to make sure you guys can get a realization of what this looks like with a factory style bumper. One thing I will mention is that Diode's brackets for the fog lights will work with aftermarket bumpers that do have a hole in them and accept a factory style fog light. Definitely check the description on our website to make sure they will fit, and also make sure to look for that hole cut out for the fog light. The only thing we need to do to remove this bumper is grab ourselves an 18mm socket and a small extension, that way we can get the lower bolts. The top filler piece we do already have removed, and honestly we pulled that off a long time ago and I haven't been able to find it. To get that off, you only need to use a trim removal tool. We'll show you a short clip now on how to do that. Just go ahead and pull the center section off first, and then go underneath and you'll just pull up and they'll pull out just like that. After you have those lower two pulled off, there's going to be 5 along the front of the bumper we need to pull off. Going to do the exact same thing. Just use your flathead, get underneath the centerpiece, pop that out. Then we can pull the cover right up and out of the way. We're going to use an 18mm socket, as I said before. We're going to use the extension for the outside of the frame rail and then no extension for the inside. One thing I will remind you of is to remove the factory connection on the passenger side for the fog lights, and then the whole thing will move out as one piece. We're just going to go ahead and do it quick, pull this off over onto the table, and we're only doing this so we can show you guys how to remove the fog lights. You can actually access this just by removing a couple of the panels on the back that we'll show you in a little bit, but to give you guys a better representation of how to do it, we're going to pull the whole thing off. Once you have all the nuts removed from the front bumper, we're going to go ahead and disconnect the factory fog light connection. It helps to squeeze the connectors together and then depress on it a little bit, and it'll pop right out. And we can set these nuts aside and pull the bumper off. You have a table up here, and like I said before, you don't need to do all this. Once you see what I do next, you can be able to do it while it's still on the ground and while the bumper is still in your vehicle. So let's pull it off and set it on the table. So as you can see on both sides, you're gonna have one of these filler panels, and you can do this while it's on the ground, but it is easier to see where everything is up here on the table. Go ahead and grab yourself a flathead screwdriver, and we can go around the border and remove all of these push pins by pulling the center section out. Or if you do have one of these handy removal tools, you pull the center about halfway out, and then you can pull the entire thing out. So we're gonna go ahead and do that with the rest of them here. Definitely save these for later. You will be reusing them. Then you have one larger one underneath here, holding onto your skid plate, or your air dam as they call it. So what you're gonna do, like you just saw guys, is just slide it out towards you. It does have to pop around this air dam here, but if you just slide it out towards the edge of the vehicle, we now have access to our factory fog light. Once you have your factory fog light exposed, we're gonna first disconnect this electrical plug up top by pushing in on the brown side, and it'll pop right out. You can push that to the side. Now the rest of these are gonna be 7mm bolts. We've got a 7mm socket, and we're gonna go ahead and remove them. As you can see, they aren't really on there crazy tight from the factory, so it'll only take a little bit to get them free. After about 2 turns, you can pretty much do these by hand. Definitely save these screws. You will be reinstalling them with the brand new Diode Dynamics lights. And once you have all the screws removed, you can pull your factory LED or halogen fog light out of its socket. So once we've got everything removed from the bumper, we can grab our Diode Dynamics Pro Series light. We're gonna go ahead and pick this up, flip it around, and grab 2 of the nylock nuts that come with it and slide them into the slots in the back. That's gonna mean we don't need a wrench to hold any of those on, and once we put the adapter bracket, it'll just hold into place. We'll be able to tighten down the 5/32 Allen key bolts. Now with this, we're gonna orient it with these pieces going towards the front, and also this section is gonna be towards the top, so that's where the pins go through. Go ahead and grab a bolt with a washer. We'll install one on each side. And these brackets do allow for a ton of adjustment up and down, as well as the angle of the light. And you can finish that off once you have it in the vehicle and really see where you want it. That's why I recommend not putting these pieces on until you figure out exactly where you want the light. Personally, I like the light to be as flush as possible, so we're gonna push that in as far as we can. Grab ourselves a 5/32 Allen key. Get these tightened up. Just snugged up for now. We can adjust it while it's on the car then. Snug that up as well. With both of those on, go ahead and grab the light bracket and everything like that. Set it on to the bracket. You'll see it'll pin right into there. We're going to utilize our 4 factory screws. Put them right back into place. Just starting them. And with all 4 of those on, we're going to use a small 1/4" impact to make it a little bit quicker. Just be careful because it is plastic. With all 4 of those tightened down, go ahead and grab your adapter harness here. Now this is going to allow us to go from the factory fog light to the Deutsch connection. First plug in this section, and then we're going to plug in the Deutsch into the back of the light. You'll hear a small click, and that's how you know it's fully inserted. Tuck this away just a little bit. Reinstall that once you have the light exactly where you want it, and then we're going to throw it back onto the Jeep and show you guys how it looks. So as you can see here, a side-by-side comparison of the factory LEDs versus these Diode Dynamics Pro fog lights. I've got to say I like how wide the Pro fog lights are. They're definitely thicker than the factory LEDs. We're about 10 feet away from the wall, and you can just see a ton of light here. Honestly, it's almost like the lights are in the room if you were sitting here by the amount of lights these Diode Dynamics produce. I'm really happy with this install, and overall it was really quick to do this, but yeah, here's a side-by-side comparison. Let me know what you guys think. Alright guys, about 20 to 30 minutes later, we have these Diode Dynamics Pro fog lights installed in the front end of our JL. What I really like about this kit is that it includes everything that you need to get it done. There were no extra parts that we needed, no cutting and splicing. It was direct plug and play, and that is really impressive for Diode Dynamics to do that. I really love kits and parts like that that'll just work, plug right in, and not have any issues. With our Jeep, it is a factory halogen Jeep, so I wasn't sure how the LEDs would play with the system, but they're absolutely perfect. They're not flickering, not flashing, and everything is running as it should. Now, if you want to stay up to date on all the latest and greatest install videos we do here on CJ Off-Road, be sure to like and subscribe our page, as well as hit that bell to make sure you get all the updated videos as soon as we drop them. Until next time, guys, be sure to check out these diode lights on cjponyparts.com, and I'll see you out on the trail. Hope you enjoyed that video. To stay up to date on our CJ Off-Road videos, make sure to subscribe up top here, and for any other installs, make sure to click the link right above.